sausage and mash and gravy, Yorkshire pudding and roast potatoes. Eat your veggies by the bunch, listening to Mez's Sunday Lunch.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Mez's Sunday Lunch. And Mez, you've brought a guest along. I've only prepared enough roast dinner for two.
Well, I've brought my brother, Anna, because, we've ragged him enough, so I thought I'd bring him. And here he is.
You have to share a roast.
Hello.
One Yorkshire pudding between the two of you.
Well, luckily, Mez doesn't really eat, so he's the perfect person to share food with. So
I've said this before.
Right.
Like Mez claimed this before, but when we were at Rockaway Beach, Mez was eating a lot then. Is he like a snake? Does he just eat for like once for the year?
Yeah, but I told you that was mayonnaise-based, so I was always going to eat it.
Just slips on down.
That was mental, that catering, wasn't it? I remember feeling so ill after that.
Yeah, and you were there for one day. I had the whole weekend.
I know.
I was, by the end of that, I think that gave me a worse hangover than anything else. I was putting special fried rice between Yorkshire puddings like a sandwich.
I love that buffet thing of just being like, potato salad, a bit of rice, and just putting it all in between like a bread roll or something and being like,
well, it's the only chance you have to work out whether these things work, Because I'm not going to be at home and make a whole portion of special fried rice and put it between two Yorkshire puddings. That'd be mad. But if someone else is doing it,
it's where you get all your best catering techniques from.
Exactly.
I think all my recipes come from festival buffets.
I'm never letting you cook for me, to be honest, Mez, after the things that you come out with.
I made this meal the other day before work. I know we'll get onto the proper podcast in a minute, but I made
a meal-based intro.
Yeah, exactly. All we had in, I was hungover and I was about to go to work, was we had some brioche hot dog buns, a microwavable pouch of egg fried rice, and I put that in hot dog buns with a bit of caramelised onion chutney. Now,
how was it?
It was surprisingly nice. It's tricky. Because would I have it again?
Yeah, that's the thing. Probably. That's the ultimate test, isn't it? It's like, would you have it if there was something else in the house?
Because at first, I bit it and I was thinking, this should be awful, but it's all right. So then you're thinking, this is like 8 or 9. And then the more I think back on it, I'm not in a rush to have it again. It's a 4 or a 5, maybe.
That's a lot better than you'd expect, though. When did the world decide that brioche buns weren't just for breakfast? They've really expanded into dinner materials now.
I blame gentrification.
I blame Jamie Oliver. I feel like he's probably got something to do with it.
He probably has. He probably, we took all the food away from schools, all the vending machines, and came back out with brioche buns.
Yeah, that was it.
It's the gourmet burger revolution, though, isn't it? Even when you go to a Wetherspoons, it's in a brioche now, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, but what I don't get, why don't they do brioche with sesame seeds? Because I miss the sesame seeds. That was the best bit of the bun, I think. The bit that actually tasted of anything.
And that would have gone with the egg fried rice because it would have had a bit more of an Asian flavour, the sesame seed thing. So.
Exactly. It would have been gourmet then. It would have been fusion cuisine. Right, okay. We will actually discuss the theme. The loose theme is obviously family here, because one of the reasons we've got Mick on is that Mez occasionally claims to have been incredibly cool at school, and I can't fact check that. So we're going to get into the sordid details in a minute. But first, does one of you have a first song to kick us off with?
Yeah, of course. This is Viagra Boys, Ain't Nice.
Just my honey, you don't want me. I started screaming if you look at me funny. Ain't nice. I ain't nice. I borrowed your stuff and never put it back. I'm kind of hungry, can you give me a snack? I ain't nice. I ain't nice. I ain't nice.
I thought you might go with a family-themed song to kick us off, Mez.
Well, ain't nice, innit? It's like, play nice with your brothers.
But ain't nice. So you're saying Mick is not nice?
Well,
no, Mez would be not nice one.
Well, this is what I was going to ask, right? So who's older out of the two of you?
Mez's.
Me.
And did you used to bully Mick, or was that what was the family politics there?
Let Mez answer and then I'll give you the real answer.
Mate, I was the supportive big brother. I taught him everything he knows,
Which is a form of abuse, really.
There was no bullying, really.
Here's one story. I'll just do one story just to show you the level of bullying at times. We had a wasp's nest in our garden one summer. There's quite a big age gap. So not really big, but there's like 4 or 5 years. So when you're young, that's quite big. I must have been maybe 10 or 11. So Mez was, well into being almost an adult. And he was like, "Oh, Mick, let's come out. Let's have a play with this wasp nest. Let's have a look at it." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, what are we going to do?" And then he lobbed a football at it, ran inside and locked the door. And I got stung like 20 times on my head.
That's psychopathic. That is
I
psychopathic.
don't know whether that's bullying or...
I thought you was going to...
I feel like there's a note of real heartbroken truth in Mick's voice there, so I believe him, actually, Mez.
I thought you was going to tell the story about...
Yeah, well, go on. Was there a worse story?
I remember throwing a dart into your foot.
Oh, yeah. That was another one. We had a dartboard up in the garage.
There was so much of this that Mick just went, "Oh, yeah," as if that's not something that you would remember for your whole life, when someone fucking threw a dart in your foot.
And Mez was doing that thing. Is it from Batman or something, Mez?
I can't tell you.
He had the dart and he was going, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlit light?" Or whatever the fucking line is. And then he was going, lobbing these darts. And I was like running around the garage barefoot, like going, ah. Then he plonked one, hit me right in, that you have like a vein on the top of your foot. Right in that. And I pulled it out and just started going,
this is a lot.
That was just character building. I was getting ready for a job in the music industry, and I thought I had to, toughen him up.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So that's obviously when you were younger and you couldn't fight back, Mick. Now you're in the band together. Is there still that level of, I'm going to call it abuse rather than bullying, to be honest?
No, to be fair, as soon as Mez left home and wasn't around as much, it got way better. And then we were fine. But he did also used to teach, so we've got a younger brother, Spud, and he would tell, and he's like 7 years younger than me, so he's like quite a lot younger again. But he would get him to they would conspire against me, so I was just the middle child getting like fucking done in from both sides.
I got
him to...
Go on, Mez.
Remember, I got my littlest brother, Sam, to hide in a cupboard with a bull, with a bull bearing. And I got Mick to open the cupboard door, and he just launched it at Mick's head.
So when I asked if one of you bullied the other, yes, there was a lot of
yeah.
Because I was going to say, I feel like most kids are basically psychopaths, aren't they? Given the chance, like I think your sense of like other people doesn't really develop until you get a bit older, and there's definitely that period where everything is just like scenery to you, and you just feel like, well, if it's fun for me, it's fine. So I think any kid with power, you end up kicking footballs at wasps' nests.
Yeah. Launched a football at me in the garden once and I fell off my rollerblades. So many different incidences.
What I'm saying is I don't blame you personally, Mez. But, still something to feel bad about, I guess. Am I breaking up the band here? Is that what's happened?
I've forgotten about all of these memories.
Yeah, they do seem to be coming back one at a time. Right,
Years of psychotherapy.
Let's smooth things over with another song. We got another song choice.
Yes, this is Decoration by TV Priest.
As old as good as fake. Did I see the TV adaptation of the latest book craze? A pox on you and a pox on them. It's all just decoration. Decoration.
Nice. Good song.
It's a banger. It's a banger.
Do you know TV Priest? Feels like the kind of band you've probably been around at some point.
I know. I was trying to work out if we'd played any shows that they appeared on, and I can't seem to think that we have. But you would have thought they are a similar kind of like, you know, they're from that kind of scene, that kind of like they've got good ethics and DIY style and quite punky and social commentary. So hopefully, when we can all cough, go back to work again.
Not cough. Jesus.
Well, not cough. No, cough, not cough. But yeah, hopefully we get to see them and not be coughing.
If we're all still going by then in the year 2055 or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when we're all on Zimmer frames and playing music.
Exactly. Yeah. So the big question here, that the whole reason that Mick is here is so that I can verify this. Mez claims he was really cool at school, and I just don't think that tallies with my experience of Mez as a person. So A, was he cool at school? And B, if he was, where did it all go wrong?
Well, A, in answer to that, no, he definitely wasn't. He definitely got cooler, and that's saying a lot if you think of where he's at now. He was the kind of kid who put far too much gel in his hair in the 90s, wore full shell suits, which I suppose maybe you could say was cool then, because people were doing it.
A cool kid in the 90s.
Maybe that was cool.
That was cool.
I don't know. He used to have chips and cheesy mashed potato every day for lunch at school. That's pretty cool as well. I do like those things. I don't know. He definitely wasn't cool, though. I wish I had photos. I mean, you can't do it with just voice. To be honest, you need a slideshow of images of him over the years.
If you get any photos, we're happy to use them as the cover of this month's radio show. Just send them through, you know. People listening are going to know where the one was found. But yeah, I was going to say, I imagine Mez probably destroyed them all. There is one solitary photo of me with completely dyed blonde hair, aged about 11, and I refuse to let anyone have a copy of that. I think I've got the only surviving one.
I had to just, be careful, didn't I? So I had to get rid of some of the photos as evidence because I never knew what Mum was going to do with them. And,
you end up on This Is Your Life.
If we go on This Is Your Life or Days of Your Life or something, and Mum comes up with a photo of me with gelled hair and a pie face, I don't want that. That's not me.
Well, I mean, you're just hiding a part of yourself here, Mez. Let it all out.
Whereas I was cute, cool, natural,
Mez, can you verify this?
I've got all my old photos. None of them have had to be stylistically destroyed or whatever to recreate history. Because I look back and I go, look at this handsome chap. No wonder he becomes such a go-getter in his adult life.
Mez, any comments on that?
To be fair, I mean, some of the photos of Mick he was cool, but he learnt that from me. That's what happens when you have an older brother. You become, effortless because I tested everything out before he naturally got it.
Yeah, so he could tell what worked and what didn't, He was
exactly.
I like the mash, but I don't like the gelled hair, so I'll take that, but
exactly.
not the other.
I was like the pilot in your favourite TV season. I was the first episode, and they're always long and they're always a bit ropey, and then suddenly you're into the bangers. So that's what I passed down to my brothers.
The prototype.
Yeah. I mean, how come then I learned guitar at about 5 and Mez didn't learn an instrument or get interested in music till he was 18, and then I had to teach him how to play bass so he could go to uni and start a band. And then years later, he comes crawling back to me. Mick, can you join my band? Please, I'm so weak. Join my band. And then there I am on a zip wire with a flying V, shredding like I do.
Well, yeah, an unanswerable question right there. What an image. Who was better at school academically? Who was the nerd of the two of you?
You were, weren't you, Mez?
I was pretty academic.
Geography, famously your subject.
Yeah, I did get a good GCSE results, but then, as I said before, I became interested in the noir of nightlife and partying, and so I let it all go as soon as I hit A levels. Whereas Mick was a bit more consistent because I guess he wasn't as edgy as me in terms of nightlife.
Yeah, I was just mediocre all the way through, I think.
Well, that's the best way to do it, isn't it? You don't want to burn out age 16. You want to burn out age like maybe 40, 50. Wait until right at the end, burn out then,
We also went to different schools, and my school was like pretty rough and underachieving. So if in GCSEs you were scraping C's, you were like top set. So I was in top set for everything, but getting like C's and maybe the occasional B. But you were the brainiest kid in the school if you were like that. So it was very easy to coast.
Did they ban all members of your family after Mez went through the first one?
It was just from trauma as a child. I couldn't be in the same school as Mez.
Couldn't face it.
No, he went to a posh little village school and I didn't want to go there. So I went to a real school in the estate.
It was not posh. It was a comprehensive. It was a comp, mate. It was a fucking comp.
Yeah, come on. You're going to ruin the part of the band here.
It was a comp. It was a comp, mate. It was a comp. I swear down.
Yeah, no, it was a comp. It was a comp.
Everyone knows village schools are the worst, mate. They're the ones where you get all of the different types.
You used to say it was the drug capital of England or something, that school.
I don't know. So Mez, after you went to Eton, obviously... No, okay. Well, yeah, it was a state school. Don't cancel life. They credentials, they check out. Yeah. Right, have we got another track on that bombshell?
Yes, this is "Can I Believe You," which is pretty apt by Fleet Foxes.
Bit of a change in tempo there, Miz. You never cease to surprise me.
I always like to surprise you, man, and I'm just tempoing it up here.
I'm a really big fan of the fact that you're like, yeah, let's get Mick on the show. Mick's on the show, and you're like, well, I'm still picking all of the music, obviously.
Well, when we got here, we got to the studio and we were trying to work out how we were going to do this. And Miz starts pulling out all these fucking notes from his pocket, and I'm like, shit, are they like topics we're meant to talk on? I think they were just the music choices, but I didn't even know about that, really. But,
so well prepared. Well, at least the topic was like family. That's not one you really have to prepare for, is it?
All I had prepared was a list of songs. I just didn't tell you that you had a choice. I just wrote them down.
Right. Okay. I was going to ask, actually, this could be a contentious one. Which one of you gets better Christmas presents for the other? Like, who's better at Christmas in general?
I don't know, because we always Christmas is like, I was going to say Christmas is a tradition, because of course it fucking is a tradition.
We try and do it once a year, if we can.
Try and put some time aside.
It's nice in winter, but...
Yeah, we normally get each other similar kind of things, a book or
yeah, I'd say we're pretty even on that. Like, Jen, we've never been a big... it's not like I've make him a mixtape and he buys me a Ferrari or something. It's always been very across the board. Our family, it's like maybe a book or a CD or a vinyl or something. Like, it's 20 quid per head is normally what I budget for everybody in the family. And it's sort of the same from all of us, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
All right,
just keep it simple, keep it cultural, keep it simple.
Right. Well, if I've not been able to cause a rift between you with that one, I'll try again. Which one of you would host Christmas? If one of you had to host a big family Christmas, which one would be more trusted to host the dinner?
Oh, that's a good one, because me and Mick are both great chefs.
Yeah.
Mez, I refuse to believe you're a good chef.
I am a good chef, but I also like weird stuff.
I will attest to Mez is a great cook. He is a great cook. But then I am also a great cook, and I did just mention a meal that was brioche hot dog buns with. So that's I think that's just about having a wide range of spectrums. In the same way we're taking you through a journey with the music choices that I didn't get to pick and the ups and downs in that. It's the same with the foods, you know, some high-end stuff, some pot noodle sandwiches.
Well, Mez's favourite sandwich. So, right, Mez's favourite sandwich is, what is it, Mez?
Cheese, peanut butter, lettuce, sweet chili sauce. He was like, what is that? And I was like,
I know, I listened to this one.
Right, yeah, exactly. So like, that's not a case of like waking up and being like, oh, what have I got in the house? That's his preferred sandwich. Nick, What's your preferred sandwich?
Well, depends what you're talking. On the road, egg mayo. I don't like cheese really other than melted, so it's always an egg mayo. But that's not my favourite, like in the of the world.
If you're in like a kitchen that's well stocked, what sandwich are you going to make?
Do you know, I really, and this isn't really very highbrow either, but I love like a breakfast sandwich. You know, like sausage, egg, and a hash brown or something.
Bacon and egg sandwich I'm a big fan of as a thing, especially if you manage to not break the egg and then you get one mouthful where it pops. That's what you want. It just
pops into your mouth and you feel like you've eaten a chicken's eyeball. Oh.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the dream.
But that sandwich that Mez...
Advertising. Thanks, Nick.
The sandwich that Mez was on about, I'm also going to back him up a bit here. So that's the one you were on about, peanut butter, sweet chili sauce and lettuce or something, was it?
Yeah, because I made it you, mate. I put you on a train to Manchester and gave you that concoction.
But you loved it. Mez, you said that the lettuce was like almost like a kind of a garnish for Mick. You were like, I wouldn't normally bother with the lettuce, but you know, I thought... You know,
well, I wanted to elevate the crunchiness of it.
I remember him just saying, like, because I used to live between Mez's and in Manchester when we were doing the band, but I was living in Manchester at uni. And so, like, every week, twice a week, I was coming to Hull or whatever. And yeah, one time he was just like, I've made you a packed lunch. It was in tinfoil. And I was like, oh, bang it. And he was like, that's from the train. But he didn't say what it was. So then I unwrapped it on the train, and it was like, it had this kind of weird like smell and consistency, and I was looking at it and I was thinking, I have no idea what this is. And then I'm eating it, and it takes you a while. You're like, that's great, but you're still chewing it.
I don't think if someone gave it to me and I had a mouthful, I don't think it would become any clearer what it is, because I don't think I'd ever guess those two things. Like, oh, of course, it's peanut butter and sweet chili, you know?
It was really good, actually.
Vicky, who's one of the editors of Dork, tried this sandwich. She assembled it, and she said it was too. She said it was too kind of soggy. There wasn't enough solidity to it. So I don't know how you feel about that.
She must be using the wrong type of bread.
I was going to say, what bread's she using on that?
I don't know, I'm afraid. What bread do you need to use?
She needs to be using a thick white bloomer, peanut butter, sweet chili sauce, lettuce, bite into it. It holds it crunches. It tastes like satay. It's beautiful.
When Mez made me, the rest of my life circling round to the sandwich. You know, this is like my Moby Dick. This is the white whale of my life.
Yeah. When Mez made me, it was on those little Warburton fins. Other brands are available, but that actually worked quite well because they're a bit kind of stale and weird. Anyway, I don't know if you've ever seen them.
Yeah, what's the point?
Or if they even still make them. I don't really know. It's like, do you want a fucking sandwich or don't you?
Like, they came out recently in the grand scheme of sandwiches, because if you ate one, you'd be like, oh, I assume this is some really old-fashioned weird thing like Spam. Yeah. It's like, no, they came up with that like, you know, a few years ago. They went, people love stale, thin bread. That's what they're after.
Yeah.
Well, people like crackers, don't they? People like crackers. You can make a cracker sandwich.
House between crackers and bread.
Exactly.
It did work quite well within that. I don't know whether that made it a bit more like a bao bun or something. I mean, it was not the consistency of a bao bun, but I don't know. But the question was, who would host the Sunday dinner?
The question, who's hosting the big dinner?
Do you know what? Because we're such loving brothers, we would probably one year...
No, that's not allowed. No. You're going to say you're going to do it together. I'm not allowing that.
No, I was going to say 1 year it would be mine and we'd score it, and then the next year it would be Mick's and we'd score it, and then whoever gets the highest score wins.
Right, but who do you think would get the highest score? You're dodging the question here, Mez.
I think I would win.
I think I would win.
There we go. Of course.
Yeah, obviously.
Because it's not just about the roast, it's about everything. I would match my cocktails to each course. I would have the perfect selection of nuts. I would have everything.
Dry roasted and salted.
Dry roasted, salted,
Mez's
and
perfect
curveballs.
nuts.
Salt and vinegar nuts, by the way, are absolutely
I bet that'd be
amazing.
good.
Yeah, they are.
They are, mate. You should
I think
try
we can
them.
basically just replace crisps with nuts in general. Like, nuts are normally a better choice, I feel.
I like a crisped coated nut as well, where you get both.
Yeah, like the sweet chili ones, they're really good.
Fuck.
They are good.
Yeah.
Right, okay, let's play another song. Mick, I want you to choose the song. I want you to get out from under Mez's long and gel.
But I don't have the list.
You can just pick any song. Just fly
just
through.
pick one off the top of my head.
Yeah. I believe in you. You can do it.
All right. Lover, Lover, Lover by Leonard Cohen, I think.
Let me start again, I cried. Please let me start again. I want a face that's fair this time. I want a spirit that is calm. Yes, and lover, 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 come back to me. Yes, and lover, lover.
There you go. How did that feel, Mick? Do you feel powerful?
It felt right.
I've already played Leonard Cohen on this, mate, so...
I know, well, this is the trouble. And then I was thinking, I don't want to pick something that's on that list.
Yeah,
but,
that's true. He sectioned off a whole
just
portion
shows
of
that
music.
you're learning everything from me.
I introduced you to Leonard
Cohen on probably the second podcast.
I know, but who taught you who Leonard Cohen was? I got the books for you. I taught you who he was. I said,
Hey,
look,
I've got
Mick,
a picture
Mez,
of him.
put that now. That's now 54 down. I've got something for you.
Mez, were you a pop fan? You seem like a pop fan. I can imagine you.
No, not really.
Although, well, we are both a bit into, but not really. But I do remember actually, before I was even in a band with Mez, a bit of it, like advice almost that he gave me, which was like, you have to listen to the current pop as well and hear what is happening. And I remember taking that on board and thinking, yeah, and listening to Taylor Swift or whatever and writing that country pop album.
An impression.
Yeah. You can't hear much of the country pop on our albums, but they're there subtly.
I often think of life as the Ariana Grande of the shouty guitar band world.
Exactly.
I do have a point about that pop, though. If you listen to pop, because they have so many ghostwriters and co-writers, you're really getting, you're getting a good amount of song there for you to rip off.
Well, in terms of, and we do this still when we write a little bit, where if you just listen to stuff that already is in the same genre as you or sounds similar to you, even though that is like good, but they're not necessarily the best structural writers or the best choruses that are going. But if you also listen to, every now and again when you hear a pop song and you're like, that is a perfect pop song. Well, regardless of, and you could argue that like Beatles and Bowie and stuff like that are that as well. Do you know what I mean? Like big tracks by those key artists are perfect pop songs. It's not always just a saccharine pop. And I think it's important to otherwise you just end up trying to outdo the most shouty like band that you want to sound like. And then there's a reason why that one band is doing well, and that's because they also have a bit of pop sensibility normally.
So you are going to pivot to country pop. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
and that is how to write the perfect song by Life.
Yeah, exactly.
now there's going to be loads of bands following that, so you're going to come out sounding exactly like you guys. The perfect combination. It's like the Powerpuff Girls. The secret ingredient is Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
If Life was a family unit, who in the band would be the mum and dad? Who would be the parents of the band?
Well, that's funny because we actually do sort of like sometimes reference that. And Mick might say different, but I would say that the mum and dad of the band are myself and Stu. In fact, we actually call Stu Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not in a weird way.
That's quite
not
something.
In a weird way.
He makes us
in a weird way.
He makes us call us Daddy. Yeah, we call him Daddy Stu. I just thought of something. Remember when we were in London recording the first album, Mez?
Yeah.
Me and Mez wanted to watch Let's Be Cops. Great film, if anyone out there's any film fans out there. And Mez went, "Please, Daddy, please, can we watch it?" Oh, it was great. What a day.
That sounds incredibly disturbing. I can't really think of anything more disturbing than Mez pretending to be a child.
Yeah,
I don't think it's.
Do you know what?
I don't think it's...
The funny thing about that was, like, they were sat on the couch. We were drinking whiskey, and they were sat on the couch, and I was stood up behind the couch because I was cooking in the kitchen, and we were choosing, me and Mick, like, really shitty comedies, and it came up on one of the options. And I was literally stood behind Stu, and I was like, "Please, Daddy, can we watch it? Please, Daddy, please, Daddy." And of course, he couldn't say no because, he's Daddy.
I don't think they let us watch the full film. I remember it getting turned off halfway through. Bullshit.
Well, it's probably bedtime, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Can't stay up too late. You'll be overtired.
I don't know whether I agree that Mez's mum. I don't know. Like on tour, I have to put Mez to bed a lot because when he gets drunk, his legs they stop working.
Well, this is right. So when we did the bowling with you guys, which was the kind of germ of what became this podcast, actually. So if I could go back in time, it's like people that go back in time and kill Hitler. I'd kill the bowling, and then I'd never have to do this. No, but I remember that we were trying to sort it out, and I think originally it was maybe Mez we were messaging. I can't remember, but then as soon as Stu got involved, it was like a well-oiled machine. He was just we just met. He just got wind of it, and suddenly there we were bowling. It was perfect. So I definitely
I was messaging you first, but I think it was because I was in the bar.
Well, it wasn't me anyway. I can't remember who it was from Dork, but yeah, I was just getting these sort of semi-garbled messages while I was at the bar saying like, we don't know if it's happening. And then Stu stepped in and he said, "We're gonna bowl," and we did. We did bowl. It.
But I did bring I don't know if you remember, but I did bring a bowling shirt with me that I changed into halfway through the match because I didn't want to turn up wearing it and then play awfully. Like, play a really fucking terrible game. So I remember
for fucking ages, and we were like, "Oh, he's probably getting around in it." You just came back with nothing, just like, "Oh, I've changed my shirt." Oh, great!
And I had this like bowling shirt with 10 pins on the back because I'd just done like 2 strikes in a row, and I was like, "I'm just gonna pop out for 1 second."
That was great.
It's probably Mez or Lydia is the mum, maybe.
But is that just? I just feel like you say, putting Mez to bed. Like, I mean, you wouldn't put your mum to bed, would you? I mean, not
only a couple of times.
Yeah, but I just don't. Mez, what do you think your qualifications are to be band mother? Why have you come up with that, or is it just because you're madly in love with Stu?
Well, I would say that I was co-dad.
Yeah.
When it becomes before the gig, I'm the dad. I'm sorting the things. I'm on the emails. At the gig, then I'm the kid again because there's booze. I need to get in the zone. I like to have fun. Whereas Stu's a bit more level-headed once we're at the gig. So like before the gig, so we're a tag team. So before the gig, I'm Mr. Pro. At the gig, I'm pro on stage, and then I like to, lose my legs.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's me that's the mum then. Maybe because actually Lydia's the other loose cannon when we're out on tour. Me and Stu are definitely the most sensible. I don't know. Maybe we don't have a mum.
Maybe
just like
that would that would
so
be a heartbreaking story.
Yeah.
A room full of dads.
Explains the anger in the music.
It does.
Exactly.
Right. Have you got? I'll go back to Mez for this because he did bring a list. So Mez, have you got another song for us?
Yeah, this is Sad Cowboy by Goat Girl.
Time comes soon, and now it never starts alone. Slip in my heart, it comes and it goes. The feeling we're told cannot be solved. It's slipping
Another great track. Really bringing them this month. Though Leonard Cohen was also a worthy inclusion. Mick, don't let Mez put you down.
Thanks.
I always bring the bangers. I always bring the tunes. That's what I'm here for.
You do. That's true. Although there was, can't remember which one it was. There was one that had a radical curveball in it halfway through, but they all merge in my mind. It's just an endless conversation about mushy peas, really.
Yeah, I know.
Mick, how do you feel about mushy peas?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of mushy peas.
See?
Was you going to business with Mez? Selling
Was
them?
this the mushy peas with like different flavours and toppings and stuff? Is this something you were trying to do?
Yeah,
a bit like those corn places?
Yeah, exactly. And I know that if you were at a festival and you were doing pots of mushy peas, one of them's macho peas, so you've got a bit of chili in it. One of them's mint and mushy peas. One of them's curry and mushy peas. It's a thing.
Well, this is sort of a thing already, isn't it?
No.
Well, I was saying this to my...
No, it isn't.
I was saying this to my girlfriend, Beth, the other day. I was talking about like Christmas and like I was starting to feel Christmassy and stuff.
So you got out the
although it's going to be weird, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. No, but we used to go around the Christmas market in Lincoln when we were growing up, and you'd get a mulled wine, and you'd get a pot of minted peas. I'm sure that's the thing. And we used to walk around holding just a little, like, literally the condiment pots you get from a chippy, the little polystyrene things, and it just had mushy peas with mint sauce in it. Now, we weren't bringing that ourselves. There was stalls doing that, so that must be a thing.
A flask.
Yeah, but that was
a flask of mushy peas.
They've stopped doing that now. That doesn't happen anymore. So I'm bringing it back.
By
It's
order
retro,
of the king,
but
you know.
This PC gone mad.
It is, yeah. Mez is the Robin Hood, you know, taking the peas away from Boris Johnson and co. and redistributing them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And everybody loves mushy peas.
Well,
I don't know if that's true.
I was going to say, I mean, I didn't, and then my girlfriend, one part of her family are Northern, and she introduced me to the mushy pea as a concept that isn't horrific, and now I'm a big fan of them. So maybe everyone does love them. They just need to be introduced, you know?
Next time you're in the north, what you need to try when you go to a chippy is a mushy pea fritter, which is a mushy peas shaped into a burger and deep fried like they would the fish.
I could be into that. I reckon that's good.
Honestly, that
sounds good.
Amazing. It is amazing.
The fish and chip shop game up north is so much better anyway. Like everything you hear from there, you're like, why? No, in the south they're so unadventurous. It's like fish, chips, sausage, maybe a saveloy. Up north they're like, was it scraps you can get in the chips?
Yeah,
that's great.
scraps.
My girlfriend Farah loves scraps. She gets them all the time.
In Hull we have patties and patty butties.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even chips and gravy is something that like everyone knows is great, but the South just doesn't do. So like,
yeah.
Come on, pull your finger out.
The good thing about the northern chippies as well, if you like your pickles, you can get a pickled gherkin, a pickled egg, and something else.
Yeah, pickled onion. Someone else, so they don't disclose what it is.
Pickled onion, pickled egg, pickled
it's like
gherkin.
A lucky dip pickled
mystery jar.
Yeah. Fingers, eyes.
I've never had a pickled egg. Are they nice? Have either of you ever had a pickled egg? They scare me.
Right, I used to eat them quite a lot. I used to be a connoisseur of pickled eggs, and I used to. There was a bar, but it's still there. There's a bar in Hull called Pave that used to do pickled eggs, and Loz, our original bass player, used to work there, and he'd always give me a pickled egg in a teacup and a pint, and I just used to eat them. And you could put the pickled egg in a bag of ready salted crisps, and you put the egg in with the. Listen to this. Listen. You get the pickled egg. You open up a bag of ready salted crisps, and you put the egg in it, and then you shake the bag, and it gets covered in all of the salt from the crisps, and then you eat the egg, and then you eat the crisps. I used to love them. And then we were playing in Manchester once, and I
was going to say this.
Yeah, we went out, didn't we, Mick? And then.
We went to the Castle Hotel.
We went to the Castle and I ordered a pickled egg. I was obviously quite drunk at this point, and I'd ordered a pickled egg, and I'd had about a few pints, and I bit into it, and it was raw. inside, and it just spilt onto the floor, and I was gagging, and I haven't had one since.
See, I don't know whether it was raw. I just think he doesn't like pickled eggs because I'd never seen him eat one before. He always used to talk about this thing at Pave.
Oh yeah,
where he ate a pickled egg. And I never saw it happen. And that's actually what happened when we were in Manchester. Everyone was like, "Bullshit, you don't like pickled eggs. I've never seen you eat one." And then he bit into one and he went and like spat it all out on the floor. And it was sort of like vindication of this, like. Yeah,
and now he's claiming that particular egg was so horrible he's never going to eat one again.
I also don't know whether you see him in that many chippies up here, Mez, because I went to a chippy today and I didn't see pickled eggs.
Is actually one that is available in the south, so you know that's fine. The pickle made it down here, just not not the good stuff. The chips and gravy, the scraps, the pea fritters, even mushy peas is a bit hit and miss here.
Yeah,
well, I think I don't agree with you, Mick, because pickled eggs are in every chip shop in the country.
Yeah, maybe they are.
I've never heard Mez sound more serious than he does right now.
Sometimes they just keep them below the shelf.
On that one.
Yeah, exactly.
They keep them out.
I'd like to say to the honourable gent, you might be right, and maybe I've just disregarded them because they're fucking awful. So I've never looked at them.
I get all three. I go gherkin, pickled egg, and pickled onion on a bag of chips.
Also, I just don't. I don't think they go with fish and chips for me.
Yeah,
like the Boxing Day cold meat kind of vibe, or cold. You know, they go really well with bubble and squeak. You get pickled onion and bubble and squeak. That's nice. That could be a weird one too.
On the fish and chips, whilst we're on it, because I had fish and chips today. Yeah. I mean, not fish and chips because we're veggie, but just a quick shout out if they're listening. Newland Fisheries just opened in Hull. Banging. They do you could get battered vegan sausages. They do toe fish, but it's also it's not like some wanky upmarket fish and chip shop. It's a normal fucking proper northern fish and chip shop. They just also have a vegan option of all of their thingies. They fry in beef dripping or in vegetable oil. Fuck, it's unreal.
I'd just like to point out, for the interests of fairness, that other chip shops are available in the whole area.
Yeah, if you want a shit one.
How much are they paying you, and can I have some? We've been trying to get sponsored for months on the main podcast. No one's biting. You know, literally anything. I'll take a tenner. If someone just staples a tenner to an envelope and sends it to me, I'll plug anything. Literally anything. Fracking. I'll do fracking for a $5.
Yeah, jar of mayonnaise or something. Just something free.
Something, for God's sake. Right, let's have another track to round out the show. So, Mez, you got a big one for us.
Okay, this is Fixer Upper by Yard Act.
It's a fixer upper. It's a fixer upper. It's a fixer upper. It's a fixer upper. Anyway, this letter, I'll just post it back, return to sender, unless you know him. I think he's called Mr. J. Konopinski. Oh no, wait, that's not an M, that's a D. Dr. J. Konopinski, do you know him? He sounds a bit Russian to me. Oh, Polish, I see. And he had a PhD. What in? Probably one of them pointless media degrees.
There we have it. It was Fixer Upper by Yard Act. That's the end of our family-themed show. Mick, you are obviously welcome back anytime. I think I might have actually hit on a dud with Mez. You seem to be slightly better at the radio concept. So maybe we'll swap you out.
He learned it from me. He learned it from me.
You made all the mistakes in the previous one so that he could fly. It's just like when you were growing up.
Exactly.
It's now that
I planned it.
It's now that it's got that great jingle to preface the podcast. That's now, and it really kicked into a real podcast.
Because obviously when we record this, we don't play the jingle. I do forget it, and occasionally I'll just remember it out of the blue and play it because I enjoy it so much.
It is
I've still got the file. Occasionally I'll just be working and I'm like, I'll just whack the jingle on. So actually, Patrick, the producer, when you're going through this, can you put the jingle at the end as well? Just, have another jingle just to play us out. So, thanks, guys. See you next month, Mez, for presumably a Christmas special.
Oh, yes.
But until then, enjoy and have a nice vegan fish and chips.
Yeah, good to speak to you, man.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
If you've got sausage and mash and gravy,